You come into this game facing a Tulsa team that had not lost a game in conference play all year. What was your biggest concern about their defense?
Well, they've been playing so well of late, and they have such, they have a lot of veterans, 8 seniors on the defense, many of them returning starters. You had got a free safety and a linebacker that had All-American nominations, so you had some real talent, real maturity. They had just done so well all year with these seniors that you didn't quite know how they were going to come in and play, because they already wrapped up the Western Division Championship. But our kids, they played well today and got a chance to get us into a possible bowl game.
I was going to say, what did you expect from Tulsa in terms of the intensity or their approach? Because, like you said, they'd already won the Western Division of Conference USA. Did you expect them to come in flat or going for the perfect season that they had a chance to do?
You just never know. You can't even know in pregame sometimes. And we've coached long enough to know that you can be fooled just by what you see in pregame, and you think everybody's all fired up, and then all of a sudden they come out a little flat. You just don't know. And I even to this moment, I don't know how. They know their kids better, and they know how they play. I'm sure they'll be disappointed, but this will be a nice catalyst for them to go into next week and be revved up, ready to go. The thing that's really important for us, is after that first year, I believe this makes us 14-1 or 15-1 in conference play at home. So our players will come to a point where in conference play, it's going to be very tough to beat us here, and then we would try to steal some on the road. So that came to pass today too. The kids just said they're not going to give up this field.
Garrett Gilbert had a kind of unusual stat line today. He had over 100 yards rushing, which is his best since he's been here. But he also had just two yards more than that through the air.
Yeah.
Was it a matter of the way he was throwing the ball, the way receivers were running routes, or was the defense doing something particularly to take away the pass and dare you to beat them on the ground?
Well, I think some of it was centered around the nature of the game. Getting up, trying to push some of the clock down, trying to get them in a position where they were at one point they were 4 scores down. So we wanted to make sure that they didn't have a lot of clock left. So we probably ran a little bit more than we normally would. But other than that, he's been improving week to week. I don't exactly know the number right now, but I know he's gone about 4 or 5 games without throwing an interception. And that was an important part of him, given the early part of the season, that he really wanted to eliminate. And he's done that now. He's got over 100 attempts where he has not thrown a pick. So that was really important. So we're very happy with where he is. He's practicing better, more confident. But I think it was just the nature of the game today that got us into saying let's take some of the clock down.
He also has 7 rushing touchdowns in the last 5 games. Is that anywhere near as important to you as an offense as his ability to not throw the interception?
Well, I think one of the things that we always try to preach to our quarterbacks and have for years is just find ways to stick it in the end zone. Now, normally with us, that's throwing the ball in the end zone. But truly, if you're just going to stick it in the end zone, you want to stick it in the end zone any way you can, as many times as you can. And that becomes kind of a mental state at this point. And he's had some opportunities to, not only take off and get touchdowns, but he's made a couple of critical first downs, in scrambles and in design running plays that are really important to us as well. So it puts a lot of pressure on defenses to have to deal with him as a person that you better keep your eye on him because he's going to escape and cause you some havoc running the ball as well. So.
This is the second time in recent weeks that he has been the leading rusher for this team. Can you say that you knew that he had that in him when you first signed him?
No, I think it's something that he evolved into, and I think he did a little bit of it at Texas, and I think he probably did a little bit in high school. But what you see is a pretty athletic kid. He plays faster than he probably would run a 40. And that's his competitiveness. But and I think that's deceiving to some people he plays. I've seen a couple of people misjudge his angles and think he's not as fast as he is, because he's got kind of a loping stride. So he doesn't look as fast, but he really is going pretty doggone quick. So it's not anything terribly new, but it's a pleasant thing to have. He's got not only that, he's durable. He's kind of he's getting banged around a lot, and he's fine. There's a young man today that kind of hit him, and he got hurt, and Garrett popped up. So
Today he had a 74-yard touchdown run. You've worked with him every day since the end of August. Have you seen in practice the kind of speed that would have led you to believe he had a 70-plus yard touchdown run in him?
Given the right circumstances, yeah. You know, we were in a particular formation where the middle of the field was kind of left vacant, and as soon as he was able to get through the mesh, it was going to be a foot race. Now, when you're in that situation, well, we've had quarterbacks in the past that couldn't extend that into a touchdown. I think Kyle Padron was probably the only other one that probably could have. But given that, you know, I didn't. You never know if that's going to happen. It does take the right circumstances to get a 74-yard run. It takes the right circumstances for a running back to get a 74-yard run. So I think the circumstances were set up well with the formation and the coverages that we got behind it, and their preoccupation with our receivers until they realized he was out and going. So, and then they just couldn't catch him.
Your victory today over Tulsa makes SMU eligible for a bowl game for the 4th time in 4 years. That's the first time in school history the Mustangs have been eligible 4 times in 4 years. When you think about the tradition of success that SMU's had, you know, for the last 60, 70, 80 years, what does that mean to you to be part of the coaching staff that gets eligible for 4 times in 4 years?
Well, it's always been an expectation. I think part of the reason kids get there is because it is an expectation. We had done similar things in Hawaii, so it's something that they realized early on was not. It's you don't take it for granted, but it is a goal. That's a clear goal that you're going to try to get. And now, having said that, it's also difficult to do that. So there's a great deal of congratulations goes out to the kids, particularly the seniors. They were all part of every single one of them, and it's going to be something they'll remember the rest of their lives. That they were part of something that no one else has been able to do here. We're really happy for them.
Last week you went down to Houston with 2 weeks to get 1 win in order to be bowl eligible. It didn't go the way you wanted down there. With this week being a one and done elimination kind of game, was practice any different, or was the message from the coaches or the urgency of the players any different this week?
I don't think so. I think they've grown into a sense of maturity that they know how to prepare for games. They knew what they had to do. They knew what they had to do last week, and it didn't work out. You know, this week they made plays, and last week we didn't make the plays that needed to be made. So they all understand that. They are a mature group. So I think their preparation was exactly the same this week as it was the previous week. Their intensity, their level. They had a great practice week preparing for Rice. You know, and it just, you know, you go down there and certain things don't go your way, but they knew how to get it done when they had to get it done to get to their goal. And their goal was to have the seniors go out with 4 straight bowl wins.